Hey guys, so in this video I wanted to just give two tips which I think all cryptocurrency beginner investors can really learn from so that you can kind of start making better decisions as to whether you want to invest in altcoins or not, especially during a dip. Okay, so um, just taking a look obviously at altcoins, I mean everybody knows the deal. There was the really big dump or crash almost about a week ago now, and now a lot of alts and I mean pretty much everything across the board is way down compared to their all-time highs or their relative all-time highs. And especially if you're not used to this market, altcoins could look really cheap right now. And I'm sure a lot of people are kind of wondering, well, is this a good time to buy altcoins? And with these two tips, I think it's something that beginners can use to basically help make a better decision or guide your decision as to whether you want to really take the risk and buy a certain altcoin that you really like. Okay, so if we look particularly, let's say, for example, at my shitcoin list, we can really see how bad some altcoins have dumped. If you use the price range tool from the top wick to the bottom wick, you can see, for example, INJ has gone down 76%. Um, VeChain has gone down, yeah, about 76%. BQX, another one that I've been following for some time, over 83%. Um, and if you go through all different altcoins, you're going to see that there's quite a significant drop in altcoins. Like most, if not all, are down 50% from their all-time high or their relative high. Um, and so, you know, especially because things seem cheap, you may be really tempted to buy altcoins. But before you do that, I would really suggest kind of two things before you do that. The first thing is that as a beginner, you need to really understand the kind of pull that Bitcoin has in the market. Okay, so when Bitcoin goes up, obviously everything moves up. And during a bull market or like more bullish price action, other coins or other large caps like Ethereum, etc., can also start driving the market because basically as people start making money from Bitcoin, it goes into large caps like Ethereum or so forth. And then when people make money off Ethereum, then they take their profits and move them to more risky plays like altcoins or whatever. So that typically tends to be the flow of money or profits during a bull run. However, in a bear run or in bearish price action, as a beginner, you have to fully understand that Bitcoin really drives the market. If we look at the Bitcoin day chart right now, you can see that we had this big dump, and then we kind of started consolidating a little bit at these previous levels to where we also had some consolidation before between, basically between 30 and about 41 to 42,000. And you can see the price action is it's pretty undecided right now, to be completely honest. I mean, yes, we've had strong bounces off the $30,000 dollar price line here, and we've also had very strong resistance at this 41, $42,000 price, which just happens to coincide with that previous peak that when we had that initial run up, right? So it's very mixed sentiment at the moment, I would say, and it's really hard to determine at the moment whether we're going to go up or down based off Bitcoin. Though we do have that kind of bullish candle here. Yeah, so who knows? But the point is that this price action that was seen in Bitcoin can really be seen in pretty much every other coin to some extent. Ethereum, same thing. We had the big dump, bullish candle, and now we're kind of in this mixed sentiment period here, where also, you know, at some points resistance became support and vice versa. A One chain, for example, same thing. Big dump, we had this kind of bullish candle, so forth. You can pretty much go through any coin and you'll see very similar price action. The size of the bounces, etc., really depended on um, how in trend the coin was, how popular the coin was, how much of a community the coin had, whether it was a total shit coin or not, all those types of things, okay? But you can see that quite clearly, Matic is a really good example. Price action really kind of mimicked Bitcoin. Again, huge dump, but with Matic, because it was so in trend, we got that huge reversal candle, right? So, but now you can kind of see like the patterns all seem very similar. And Bitcoin is really a driving force when trying to determine if we're going to continue to go down or not. So tip one really is, as a beginner, you need to study Bitcoin's price, and you need to determine whether you think that Bitcoin will also show some signs of reversal. Because if Bitcoin continues to drop, these alts are going to continue to bleed more and more and more. If we go sideways, altcoins can definitely outpace Bitcoin. That definitely has happened, and we've seen that before many times in history, and that would actually be pretty positive. But you have to really determine, can Bitcoin hold this price range where we're at? And right now, at least from my personal standpoint, it's very, very mixed, and it's very, very hard to tell. And I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see a bounce back from here. Um, or I just don't know where that catalyst is going to come. If you remember back in this period here, back in the beginning of January, when we initially hit that 40,000 mark, we had that Elon Musk catalyst at one point, when everything started kind of looking like it was going to go sideways, and we were just kind of consolidating here. That Elon Musk catalyst really pushed it forward. What's the catalyst going to be here? Because right now, also when you look at the volume candles here, I mean, right now we've had a bit more buy side volume, but I would say that, sell volume is also definitely there, so right now it's a real battle. So are we just going to are the bulls just going to win out without a catalyst? I'm not sure, but that's something that you have to determine, and you have to decide whether it's worth the risk to basically invest in an altcoin based off Bitcoin's current price action. Okay, so don't forget that. The second thing is when trying to determine whether you want to invest in that particular altcoin, the tip is you really have to also decide, is the the amount, that the percentage decrease that the coin has gone down in, really making that risk to reward worth it. As we all know, okay, as I've discussed periodically in other videos, most of the altcoins that people like are shitcoins, right? And that's totally fine. You can make a lot of money off shitcoins, but you have to really determine whether, for example, if we look at VeChain, and we've had a 76% drop, and now we're probably at, if I just move this slightly higher, now we're at 63% off the all-time high. And we don't really see any, really strong positive confirmation in terms of a reversal back to a bullish price pattern. Is it really worth taking the risk at 76% drop or 63% decline from the all-time high here of about 0.28? That's something you have to determine. You have to determine whether you think that risk to reward is worth it. Do you think that VeChain has enough potential fundamentally, or does it have a strong enough community? Whatever. Personally, for me, for example, at least how I'm viewing the market now with what's happened with that big dump, um, is for the majority of altcoins, and I'm not including Ethereum uh, into that conversation, but for the vast majority of altcoins, um, even 76% I think is not enough of a drop. Like, I would really wait for a over 80% bare minimum, even closer to 90% decline before I start really looking at altcoins again. And even then, I would still want to see some sort of confirmation that we're at least going to flatten out, like we're going to get a kind of a price action which is a little more like this, with kind of a flattening of the curve, um, before I really start buying into those types of alts again. Um, the only time where it would be maybe a bit different is if I've really studied that coin, done research on it, and I really think it has strong fundamental value. But for the vast majority, I don't know if 76% decline is enough for me. But you can make that decision. I could be totally wrong, but that's just how I like to mitigate my risk. And you have to determine what percentage decrease you want to see so that you think you've got enough risk mitigation. Anyway, hopefully that was helpful, guys. Sorry for rambling, going a little bit off topic, and they're, having that rambling mind. But I'm on holiday, so I still haven't really, got to structure my videos very much. I just kind of do them off the top of the head. Um, Hope it helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, guys.